Welcome back, and today what we're going to be going over is the stages and how to deal with the different stages of the Titanic Ruins Guild Boss. Before that, what I want to do is I want to cut in a video that I did pre-record of me grabbing my rewards from this because I wanted to see what they were last night, but I didn't have time to record a full video. It was just too late at night, but I'll go ahead and cut that in now and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I'm recording this Monday night because I don't really have time to record a video today. It's been a long day and I have to work in the morning. So I'm recording this to add on to probably the video I'm going to be recording, and pretty much all I'm doing in this video is showing the rewards from the Titanic ruins and why it's a good idea to do it. Now this is obviously 30k on chest 1. Not everybody's going to hit that, but there are still rewards all the way down to 1k. So as long as you can hit 1,000 blood on it, you'll get something along these lines. And what I got is this. Alright, so 200 diamonds, good. 600 mithril, that's really handy. A handful of the stuff to upgrade, and a summon crystal. That's solid rewards right there. I believe on a lower chest you would just get maybe half of this, which is still really good. That's a lot of energy that's being saved. This stuff could take thousands of energy to farm up. Diamonds, that is dependent on events. Mithril, that could be 60 runs of AMR 10 or 18. That's a ton of mithril, and then a summon crystal. We're not going to kill this anytime soon, and then chest 2, which was also around 30k, I believe. And 200 meteorites. Okay, yeah, this was really good. An ancient summon crystal, another good bit of this stuff, which I mean, look, that just made it so I could upgrade 2 items to Invigoration or Ageless Wrath. 1 item, I could have already done this, but I haven't. And another, this one's definitely made it so that I could go to Immortal Warrior or Warlord. Recasting Hammer, I haven't really used a whole lot of these, mainly because I don't really use them. If it rolls bad, normally I just sell it. I should try and start using these when I get them, now that we are getting them. And then this Refining Crystal can be used to refine mythic gear to change the stat of one selected secondary attribute. So pretty much how this works is, say you get one thing that rolls bad. Say you get something that rolls all purples and then just one, like a crit rate 3.5%. You could use this to try and reroll that crit rate and maybe make it a really good piece of gear. But let's see, 200 flawless meteorites, that's huge. That's a ton of energy. This is a ton of energy saved here. An ancient summon, great. 50 diamonds. This, which I believe this is the only place you can get it, and 3 more summons. Yeah, I mean, that's a solid reward right there. And while I am at it, showing off rewards, this will also be in another video, but we have the Gala invitation, which is just a start of the event. And oh, look at that, another one of these, sweet. All right, so as you can see, those rewards were pretty nice. It is definitely worth doing this fight, and what I'm going to go through now is what are some good units to get you through each phase and ways to get through each phase.
Shall we retreat?
And what you have to deal with in each phase, I should say. So, let's see. We have burst damage here. We have true damage. We could use some CC. So, one thing I will say, Nightmare comp is a very popular comp. One Torador does stuns in his ult, and those stuns will decrease the gauge that fills, that I'll show you in battle. Azor also is apparently very good for this. I don't have Azor built, but he is a Nightmare unit, and he's defense based. So he fills two roles. He's tanky, he takes the big hit, and I'll show you a little bit of that. I don't have him built, but he puts out a ton of stuns. Another person who is really good, but doesn't do anything other than stuns, is Nazim. Nazim, I'll put him in here just to kind of show him off. He can handle the stunning portion by himself, but he is useless everywhere else. He doesn't provide any damage really. He doesn't do much. So I'll show him in that first part, and then the third part. I'm skipping the second part. Sorry. So the second part, the best way to deal with that is two ways. One, you can burst damage him down and hit him before he gets the Aegis mode off, so he doesn't get any defense increase or anything like that. Or you can use true damage. True damage is Falcia, Nocturne. Most of the Arbiters do true damage, to be completely honest. But these two do true damage, and they can help you burst them down. You can just use high damage, but you're not going to be nearly as effective. And unfortunately, that's just how it is. You need something. You either need a lot of stats or you need the right units. So with the second mode, like I said, true damage is really the way to go. That's how you burst them down the best you can. And you want survivability, because if you can't just burst him down in one ult, two ults, you're gonna have to survive a few of his hits. And each time he gets a shield up, he increases his defense, but he also increases the damage he puts out. So he's going to slowly build more and more damage, and it's gonna make it hard to survive. Ways that you could survive that is, say, like Carnelian. Same with the first stage. You could put Unyielding on your units, and that'll keep them alive for a certain amount of time after they would take fatal damage. And then as long as she can get the Unyielding back up, you're golden. You're good. No issue. But that can be hard to sustain. You could use damage reduction, like Sadie. That is a little bit easier to sustain, but you are still going to take that damage in the long run. You can use Medan with her A1, I believe it is. During her ultimate, all damage incoming to people within her healing range is reduced by 10%. And she does a 10% defense increase. Those are great ways to deal with it as well. And that then brings us to stage 3, where it is very difficult to deal with if you don't have specific units. Eloin and Medan really shine here. There are two other healers that I don't have that have cleanses, as well as a rare and an uncommon, or no, not a rare, but an uncommon and a common healer have a single target heal, or single target cleanse. Those are useless, but whatever. Eloin cleanses everybody within her range, her ultimate range, dispels all buffs, or debuffs, and Medan also does a dispel within her area. This isn't the Medan that I have leveled, but that's fine. But dispels all buffs and heals them. So, those are two ways to deal with the poison. The other way to deal with poison is if you don't have a cleanser, or you only have Medan and you're trying to get your second fight in, is to try and burst down the boss before they poison you. That is going to be very difficult to do, but it is something that could be done. So let's just see this. We have stun here. We have... We'll put some more damage in here, just to kind of help us get in here.
Come for reading.
Let's see. You could use this thing. This.
Let's see what the cards
Alright, there we
have
go.
in store.
So this will get us through phase 1. But I'm not going to rush through phase 1. I'm going to show you what happens when you have the stun out and when you don't. So first, Nazim, he is going to deal with the stun. Stunning, no problem. He can handle that. This is also not optimal placement. Don't follow this placement routine. As you can see, it is terrible, but that's fine. So, pretty much, let's see. Nazim's ready. That big rock that fell down, it falls on the person with the highest HP. Obviously, King Hars can tank that, no issue. So, let's see. He should be doing his... Yeah. So, you see how this is coming up? And Nazim, now that he is ulting, it's pushing it back down. And he's also doing an attack reduction, because every time you hit him with a CC effect, it'll reduce that. Now, that works with King Hars' freeze as well. He could freeze him and knock that back. Now, it will only stack up to 12, which is negative 144%. That's more than enough. You'll see the damage is reduced by a ton. It does pretty much nothing. Let's see. Yeah, it did. I didn't even see the attack here. Let's see it over here. It did. It looks like it did negative damage. So, and there he goes again. And you could just do this again. You could hold out here indefinitely without using any ults. You could burst them down like this, and then you go into stage 2. Now, what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and do this, and you could do your ult. That might be enough just to kill him out of this and push him to stage 2. So, stage 2, like I said, well, he goes into a weakened state between each phase, so you're going to get a good bit of damage off. That's great. Now, the way stage 2 works is... Cool, that decreased attack sticks around for a little bit. That's good. So, that doesn't really matter though. He's going to do this arm swipe. He's going to do good damage to everybody. That's not good for us. Now, and he's also going to do Aegis mode. What this does is, let's go ahead and, cool, that slows it down a bit. Enhances the damage, Earth Shatter, and increases the damage of Earth Shatter, and increases his physical damage reduction and magical damage reduction by 6%. He could stack that, I believe, up to like 6 or 7 times. He could get quite a bit. That's, you know, if he gets up to 10, if he can, that's 60% reduction. You're going to have a hard time hitting through that. One way to deal with that is Setram with his ignores defense and whatnot like that. You could also use him, who he has some defense ignore. Or you could use somebody like Nocturne, who, if he, during his ult, he does some true damage. He guarantees some true damage when he first starts his ult. But also you could use somebody like Falcia. Falcia is somebody that a lot of people have because a lot of people pulled for her. She looked like she was going to be a lot better than what she was. She's not bad by any means. She's just not as good. Now, the way that you get the true damage out of her is you have to do her ult when she's in her Demon Slayer stance. So that's when this thing's floating around her. And as you can see, she does a ton of damage during that time period. Nocturne, he just got to ult. And then we'll go ahead and ult with everybody, see if we can burst through this. And let's go ahead and do that. I shouldn't have done that there. Hopefully she's back, because I need to show her off with the cleanse. So this phase is done. Great. We got him down. That phase is fairly easy to deal with early on. But, let's see. Okay, so, as you can see, these poisons come out. The only way to get rid of these poisons is to dispel them. With only having a handful of units having dispel, it's very difficult to do. And he will just continue to stack them up. Carnelian back here, she's gonna die. Most of these people, they're gonna die because they're outside of her range. So, as you can see, everybody within her range gets cleansed. And everybody outside dies. That's just how it goes. So, let's see. She's in her Demon Slayer stance. Let's go ahead and hit some damage here. Hopefully I have enough damage to kill this stage off. Let's go ahead and do that, because I do want to show what happens when you run through the full gauntlet of stages. Once you beat all the stages once, he will go into overdrive mode. Okay, well, there goes one of my main damage dealers. Not a problem. Let's go ahead and just do this. And she is in her Demon Slayer stance. Perfect. So, where we're at now is we've gone through all the phases once now. Right? He's in his weakened state. When he stands back up, he'll gain a buff. And that is called overdrive mode, I believe. And what overdrive mode does is it increases attack and HP, attack by 30%, HP by 50%, making these stages harder to get through. So, you gotta do more damage. And it will continuously increase. As you can see, that did a lot more damage to him that time. And Nazim's here, so he'll just keep on doing this to knock down that Death Saw. King of Horrors can help him out a little bit, do a freeze out there. And we're just going to keep that down, get that minus 12%, so he's at 12 stacks, so he's at minus 144%. And we're just going to wait for this to hit, and then we're going to kill him. This hits. It hits this side first. So Silas will get hit. No big deal.
What are we hunting today?
We'll go ahead and do that. Everybody will get hit with that. No big deal still. Nazim, he's back up to his ult. That's with how I have him built, so he could kind of run through 2 rotations here. We don't need the second one. Everybody will kill him at that point, but that's fine. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and burst him down real quick to show that it's a second run that this continues to stack. I don't know if there's a cap at where it finishes at, but it will continue to stack, which can prove difficult. So we got Falcia with her stuff. We have him. We'll ult with him. And we'll try and burst this down real quick. Unfortunately, we're not bursting it down very quick. But that minus a ton of attack helped a lot. Silas can sit there and ult. That'll do a ton of damage. She's in her Demon Slayer stance, so she'll do a ton of damage. And we're just about through this. I think by the time Nocturne gets his ult, we should be good. There we go. So now we're back into the poison phase, right? Ideally, we'd be able to burst through this. I don't think there's a way to burst through it. But, see, and he increases the poisons. Now it's 7. It was 6, or it was 5 last time. Then he'll hit and he'll add 10 more with Acidic Venom. That Acidic Venom adds 10 more. We're at 17 now. If we didn't have a cleanse here, we'll watch how fast these guys die down here. See, they didn't stand a chance. These guys up here, though, they're all nice and healthy now. So let's try and burst through this now. We really need to kill this off quick. So we took that last poison, unfortunately. This is going to be difficult to survive through. Let's go ahead and get a shield on King Hars. The other thing that poison does is it decreases your healing as well. See, healing reduced by, okay, 0%, but 1% of the target's max HP every 2 seconds. Effect lasts permanently. There's no way to get rid of it, which sucks. But I'm gonna die here because I didn't plan to go this far with it. But the poisons just continuously stack, and this will also continuously stack. So there's a few ways to deal with these phases, but it does require certain units. So that was a full run through, and quick recap. Stage 1, best way to deal with it, crowd control effects like stun and freeze, or survival with damage reduction, increased defense, unyielding, any of those, and just kind of slow roll through it. That works. You won't get a ton of damage, but you can manage for a wave or two. That's not a problem. Stage 2, you want either burst damage to try and get that stage killed before the defense reduction gets built up too much, or you want true damage to be able to hit through that defense reduction, or that defense increase. Those are the two major ways to deal with that. You also have the same previous way as survival, damage reduction, increased defense, unyielding, stuff along those lines. You can slow roll through that. It's going to take a lot longer, and you're going to fail a lot faster in that sense, because that defense increase just keeps on stacking, and eventually you're going to be doing minuscule damage and you're going to run out of time. So that is a way to run that, but it's not going to be sustainable. And stage 3, burst damage to try and keep the poison stacks down the best you can, and cleanse. Those are the really only two ways to survive that. Cleanse is by far your best bet, and unfortunately with cleansing, there's only a handful of units that do it. So we have Anomia, or whatever her name is, and that's 3 allies in her range every 30 seconds at full skill. That's not great, but it's not bad. It'll kind of sustain you if you are doing that burst method. We have Disomi, that does magic incense, and that'll dispel 1 debuff every 2 seconds if the HP is higher than 50%. So he's not going to be able to do that himself. So he's not going to be able to handle that himself, but he can help. We have Elwyn, obviously. She's great for it. She's probably the best because her range is increased. Her ultimate range is like the vortex range. And then we have Madon, who she's really good to do it too. She's just got that general heal range though. 2 to the side, or 1 to each side, 2 in front of her, 1 behind her. That's all she's going to be able to cleanse. You'd have to fit everybody within that area. She does do a defense increase during her ult. That's great because it's increased by 10%, and her Awaken 1 also reduces damage taken. So she's really good for this fight as well. Then we have this guy who does a single target dispel, and this guy who does a single target dispel. Neither one of them, if you can make either one of them work in this fight, good on you. They're by no means the best option. Madon, if you don't have Elwyn, Madon is going to be your go-to, and if you have these two, they're going to be great additions. True damage, we're looking at Alistair, we're looking at the main true damage people. Praetus, I believe Dahlia is even really good here. I believe she does decent damage here. I'm not 100% on that. I still have to test it. for burst damage, all of your normal burst damage people, Hex, Ivar, Silas, Setrum. Setrum does pretty good here. Any of your burst damage people, that'll be great to go at it with. Stuns, Torador is great. What's his name? Azor is great. End of the day, I think probably if you're really struggling with it, just slice out one person for what's his name? This guy, Nazim, because he's gonna be able to take care of that stun, no issue. Just build him survival, high attack speed, high rage regen, and you're good. He's not gonna do any damage for you, but he's gonna make sure you don't take any damage on that first run from the big hits. So that's great. And then just like I said, just general damage. You could put Constance in there as a tank with invigoration, with just to increase your damage. Dolores can be put in there to increase your damage. You want somebody in there tanky to take the one big hit, because every time he does a big hit, he does do but he drops a rock on somebody. So you want somebody, smashes the ground, and then immediately deals single target damage to the hero with the highest HP. That is something that happens throughout the entire fight, and you want to have a tank down to deal with it, because a tank will be able to tank that hit. And it is difficult to tank if you're not running a tank. So Azor would be great to cover that position, and from what I understand, he can be around as good as Nazim. So that would kill two birds, one stone, and help you out with that. But I'm going to go ahead and end that video now. Like I said earlier, it is important to try and get these rewards the best you can. If you can only get this 1,000, great. If you can't quite get there yet, maybe some of these suggestions can help you work up to it. And if you have any questions, any requests, or anything like that, definitely feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to help out. And till next time.